congratulations on God's Country Song. What a beautiful film. So tell me why you guys decided to get involved in this film and what inspired you.
Well, I got the audition like any other, but I started reading the script and started seeing the themes of God and redemption and faith, and I was like, all right, I'm in. And then I also realized he was a musician, and I'm like, yeah, I want to do this project. So we were kind of talking earlier. I auditioned and didn't hear anything for a month, and I was like, oh, that's such a bummer. And then ended up getting a call from Johnny. And yeah, so I was really excited to be a part of it.
And I was so just excited about the script because I felt it was super real and super grounded. And then Leanne is a fierce protector, but someone who is not afraid to speak up and call people out and just approach them with love. And I feel like that's the perfect type of woman that I want to play.
This movie is uplifting, it's inspirational, but it does deal with hard things like you touched on. So talk about the importance of honesty in filmmaking, especially when we're talking about Christianity, we're talking about faith.
Yeah.
Sort of the low moments highlight God's goodness.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things I also like about this movie is that it's real, but I think people can just see through, like, if you're being fake and just pretending like everything's okay, like no one's okay really. Like, we all have heartbreak and issues, and I think we all want to relate to someone else. And so I think especially as Christians, we need to be there with like open arms, like we're all messed up and all broken, like, and we all are in need of a savior, and just that honesty and just admitting that, and just I think that is the place where we connect with everyone instead of pretending to have everything together. That to say, like, if you do that in the film, everyone's completely like, no, I see right through it, this is bull. So I think that being real and being honest is just the way to connect with everyone.
Yeah, and everyone experiences trauma or grief at some point in their life, and to show the messy part of that and like the process of overcoming that, I feel like is so important to show in films, because that's how we are relatable to our audience, and that's how we as storytellers make that change in other people's lives. Mm-hmm. And I think it's so important to remind people that you can have a second chance, and you're never alone, which is huge. It's a huge lesson and fun reminder.
Yeah, redemption is always possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, Justin, you're a dad.
Yeah.
You have 2 little girls. Yeah. How did your experience as a father inform taking on the character of Noah, especially as a father who cares about your children's spiritual formation as a Christian?
Oh man, it's so it's like this huge weight, and I think about it all the time, just like praying for them, like, because you can't force it. Like, you can only you can only plant and water and just pray, and God's the only one who can reveal himself. And so you just pray for that and hope for that, and you try to create the best atmosphere and soil for that. So it's a huge task, but you just rely on the grace of God and know that, before the foundation of the earth, he wrote our names in the book of life, and you pray that, that is the case. And so that being said, it's interesting playing Noah because he doesn't know anything about being a father, and so I guess you rely more on the infancy stage, like, when Olivia, our oldest daughter, was first born, and she was born in right outside Dallas, Texas, and my wife and I adopted her, and so we got the call that she had gone into labor early. We were supposed to be there in the room, so it was already this mad rush of like, let's fly there, let's get there. My wife's like bawling, crying, like, oh my, what are we gonna do? Like, she's gonna be alone or something's gonna happen. So we get there, and then someone just hands you this child, and so you're like, what do I do? Like, I can be the father. You're gonna let me be the father of this girl, and so I can relate to that sense of Noah. Like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do, and I can't believe they're gonna let me leave the hospital with this beautiful little thing. But a lot of instances, like, you're like, I would know what to do, but Noah has no idea what he would do as a 6-year-old child, So it was this interesting balance of like forgetting what I know as a father, but also like remembering, and especially when they're first born, as you're sort of in this state of like, I'm not sleeping at all, and I don't remember much from that phase. So, but it was fun, and JJ was such a great actor, and so fun, so giving, and just really confident, and just made it really easy to work with.
Yeah, he's so cute.
Yeah.
He brought so much energy and just happiness to the set.
It was easy to play off of because he just gave you so much.
Oh, I love that. Now, God's sovereignty is another theme in the film, really trusting in God's plan when your life doesn't go exactly the way you thought it was going to. So just, I wanted to ask you, have there been times in your own life where you thought your life was going to go a certain way and God comes in and is like, nope?
Yeah, I think mine more is on like the grief side of it, because I lost my best friend, and at the time she was my roommate, to cancer. So there was definitely going through all of that with her every day and seeing her, slowly leave. I definitely had that moment of asking why her, why am I next to her dealing with this, and what am I supposed to do? And there is like that moment where you're lost and you just want to feel hands on your shoulders and guide you. So I definitely relate to that, but I think it's trusting the process and having, something maybe awful happen in your life, but turning it into something beautiful and creating that a permanent change in your life that you can grow with.
I love that. Now, what do you want audiences to take away from this film that maybe are struggling with addiction, or they don't have a parent, or they're struggling with mental illness? What encouragement do you want them to take away from this film?
No one's ever alone. Like, there's somebody that you can walk into a room with and you can instantly relate with, that they've gone through similar situations as you. So I think it's having the courage to ask for help, removing the ego, and being open and vulnerable and open to maybe adjusting yourself, or being humble.
Yeah.
And like recognizing certain things.
Yeah, I mean, we live in a broken world, obviously, like the Genesis 3 world, and you're not alone, like, but it doesn't feel that way in the moment. So I hope they would take away from this movie God's love for you, even especially in your lowest moment. I mean, when we're weak, that's when God is strong. Like, that's when God can really be available to us, because a lot of times we just, when everything's good for us, we're just going through the motions and we're relying on our own strength. And when you are at that lowest moment, you're sort of at a place where you're desperate, and the amazing thing is that God didn't turn away from you, like, in your pride and all those things. He was just always there. And as a father, that's one of the greatest things that your children teach you, is like God's love towards you. Like, there's nothing my children ever had to do. I loved them before they were born, before they could ever say a word, and there's nothing that could take that love away from me. And so in the same way, like, that's how God feels towards you. And like, I know, like, I didn't fully understand that, and I probably won't until I get to heaven, but God gave me a glimpse of that in my children. So that love is there for you. Like, and it always will be. So just turn towards God, and just that would be my,
Hope is never lost.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thanks guys so much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.